Hello, welcome back to yet another installment of my FiveM vehicle development series. And this one, I'll be tackling one of the more difficult to understand parts of what actually goes into vehicle development, or quote-unquote vehicle development, at least as far as it goes for like in-game stuff, like the metas and such. I'll be tackling the vehicles.meta. Now, I won't be going 100% in. I'll be briefly covering the most, in my opinion and in my experience, the most used parts of the vehicles.meta file. So, today I'll be working on one of my own builds called as a 10F raid. Basically just an obey 10F. Sorry. Not 10F raid. 10F twin turbo. Like so. It's an obey 10F, got a full carbon body front, lots of carbon fiber, exposed twin turbos on the back with an extra, DRLs, so on and so forth. Now, to actually get started with the vehicles.meta, I obviously just open up my vehicles.meta for my actual vehicle itself. So, in the vehicles.meta file, I have somewhat covered the file itself at some points in my other videos. Essentially, what you want to do in here. Well, no, we're just going to quickly go through it all. Model name, TXT name. I'm fairly certain TXT is the texture dictionary name. I always just leave the TXT name the exact same as the model name itself. You could probably change it, but if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Handling ID. The handling ID here directly ties into the handling name in the handling.meta file. So whatever your handling ID is in the vehicles.meta should also be your handling ID or handling name within the handling.meta file. Now, if you just simply want to use something like a GTA 5 handling, it's as simple as simply grabbing this, and let's say I just want to use the regular, we'll go with the 9F handling, the previous generation of the 10F. I'll put in 9F. Now, there is also a different way to actually figure out what these are. You can go on to, I think it's GTA 5 or GTA fandom wiki, something like that, then look for a specific car, then you can look for more information on that page. At this point I would simply save, restart my vehicle, and then the vehicle model would drive and act like a 9F in terms of handling, or in terms of the handling line. Going further down, game name, in this case mine's a 10F. All I actually mostly did for this was I copied the 10F vehicles.meta from the GTA 5 files, dragged that in. But based on the fact I've got it set up like this, whenever I'm actually inside the vehicle in-game, it'll also say, okay, I might actually have to change that to 10, like spell that 10F. Although it does do it for other vehicles, it's kind of like a hit or a miss in my experience. But it'll essentially say that like specifically what you're driving instead of just obey or whatever. And the manufacturer you're driving, or the make name, is defined down here. So vehicle make name, obey, and then obviously like ending off vehicle make name. I could change this to whatever, as long as it's law friendly and coded into the actual GT5 code, it'll work. Expression dictionary name and expression name, I have no clue what those mean. I've never used them in my life, so I'm not going to talk too much about them. Again, I don't want to give any kind of point of view or explain what something does without actually knowing what they do. Anim conv roof deck name and conv roof name. These are used whenever you have animated like sunroofs, windows, even convertible hardtops or softtops, whatever. They're used for stuff like this. So yeah. Again, that's more or less like a C Modeler 3 thing, so I won't talk too much on that. The one right below is just, again, you don't really ever touch it, not even for C Modeler, you don't even touch this. PTFX asset name, this is particle effects asset name. I've never used this in my life. I do kind of want to find out what it is, but at this point in time, I can't really say what it does. Then you've got audio name hash. This is arguably one of your most important lines in your vehicles.meta. This is what gives your vehicle its sound. And now just to kind of showcase that. Right now, it's got LG59 HER V10. This is from Legacy. It's this Huracan V10 engine sound. I really like it. It goes with my car perfectly. Now, if I just quickly want to change that out, I am going to find a random engine sound folder here. And then I will just look for... what's not going to be put on this thing? Yeah, we got the Headmaster's Lamborghini 5.2 liter V10, which is the same engine. So, I'll just go ahead and copy this in. I'll actually save it too. Now, I'm not going to restart my file or my card just yet, just so you can kind of get a feel for what it actually sounds like. So, this is what the current engine sound sounds like. Pretty good. And if I restart my folder or my vehicle, I spawn it back in. Now it's got a completely different sound. Obviously, you can put whatever sounds you want onto vehicles. Usually, because I'm a bit of a car freak, I do like to keep it as close as humanly possible to the actual engine itself. Now, funnily enough, the Obey 10F actually has a V12 engine for some godforsaken reason, even though it's an Audi R8 V10. But yeah, that's basically what the audio name hash line does. Now, sometimes you will experience that it is set up something like this. Now, what this does is it's essentially just like a blank slate for an audio name hash or an engine sound. It's quite easy to fix. Personally, I've never really used this. Sorry, it's actually going to look like this whenever it's blank. Personally, I've never had any luck with actually getting this to work, so I always just do this myself. Now, obviously, I could just go ahead and copy and paste this, like so, or I could just type it all out. Kind of up to you what you do. And then in the middle here, between the more than and less than brackets, you put whatever you want. So in my case, I'll put it back to my HER V10 I had before, and save. Layout. Layout is, well, that actually also plays a huge part in your vehicle itself. Right now, the current layout for this vehicle is layout low restricted. Some of the ones you'll see a bunch of are like layout standard. For right-hand drive cars, you'll see layout low RHD. You could also see, I think it's layout underscore ranger underscore 4x4. Just to showcase a few of these layouts, I'll go ahead and find a few different cars that I've done. So I'll open up my LG RH8. This has layout STD, exit, fix up. I'm pretty sure STD is just for standard. It's just an abbreviation. It's kind of an odd abbreviation, but I digress. Going back and forth again, there's the Cavalcade XL I did as a police car. This is a layout ranger. Now, if you're working with a law-friendly car and the layout just simply isn't working, now this is more for like developers. What I would suggest you do is to simply find the actual vehicles.meta for the vehicle you're working with. So that you know, works 10 out of 10 times for me, at least in my experience. So, back in here. We have cover, bound offsets, explosion info. All of these, I don't quite know what the hell do. I've never ever seen them. Oh, sorry, these three. I don't really know what they do, if I'm going to be completely honest with you. I've never touched them. I don't have any intention of touching them. So yeah, skipping past those. Camera name. Okay, basically the camera name is whatever name your vehicle is going to use when you're in third person. So for the 10F, it uses the Cheetah camera. Now, just to kind of show off again what that does, my third person view looks like this. It's perfect for the car, in my opinion. If I were to try and go over to the Cavalcade XL, this uses default follow vehicle camera. Now just to showcase what that looks like, is I'll just simply copy it over, like so. Go ahead and DV my car. Restart it. Unless I scuff something with that. No. guess I royally messed up my car here. Alright, I will quickly reset that to everything. Okay. So it's at default, follow underscore vehicle camera. Vehicle camera. Go ahead and restart my car again, just double check everything, that's fine. Okay, so a little bit of a different camera for the car. Not too noticeable. Now, you can, however, actually get cameras that are way different. I'll check what this one has real quick. Okay, same one actually. Now, obviously, like, this isn't necessary for you to change. Sometimes it will just look fine as is. Now, this issue does still happen every now and then. I'll try the content here. Okay, whatever. I can't really find anything with like a crazy follow name. But yeah, that's basically how you fix the actual camera follow name. Let's go ahead and undo everything here. I'll head over to my little intersection over here. Alright. Moving on. We have aim camera name, bonnet camera name, POV camera name. I have no clue what they do. Again, I've never really touched them. I have no intention of touching them. So yeah. Also, all the first person stuff down here, I have no clue what any of this means. Until we get to this point. Actually, I don't know what this one means. I know what the POV camera offset means, however. So, this has to do with the interior of the car itself. And kind of how I'm sitting in it. So, obviously, as you might have noticed, right here, like, my head is peeking through, and I can see through the actual car itself. I would ultimately like my view to be somewhere in the middle of where it is right now, and up here. So, I do want to adjust this on... I don't exactly recall how this is set up. I do believe if I put the C value down to 50, then I'll quickly find out what the C value means. Now, it works the same way. I just simply delete my vehicle, restart it, put into a different one. Okay, the C value brought me down. Now, I did at 64 before, I'll put it at 55. Again, I do like to do these increments in relatively small pieces, just so I get it perfect. Almost there, I'll put it up to 59. Again, restart my vehicle, and good. Now, sure, I am peeking through, but I've also got something that actually increases my FOV. Now, personally, I really like the way that I'm sitting in this vehicle right now. I've got the feeling that, you know, it's a small vehicle, but I can still see at the front windshield, or somewhat see at the front windshield, because there's not a lot of windshield on this car. So yeah, that's how you fix something like your first-person view. Moving down. I have no... Actually, allow joyriding. All of this is for... what should you call it? For NPCs, like allow joyriding, Sunday driving, body color mapping. I actually don't really know what this is. But joyriding is like when you see an NPC, like kind of racing of sorts, like they're just joyriding it. Sunday driving, it allows NPCs to do Sunday driving in it. So yeah. All of this I've never used. I have, however, used LOD distances. Now, again, this is more or less something for developers, or if you're having issues with a vehicle with a livery that as soon as you get, you know, a few feet away from it, it goes invisible. I would 100% suggest you just, you know, grab the value 500, simply copy and paste that down all the way here, and that will just ensure that doesn't happen again. Min seat height, never used. These are all kind of things for... Yeah, this is things for NPCs. So, identical model spawn distance, value of 20. I presume that means you can only have one of these vehicles spawned within the same distance of 20 meters. I'd assume it's 20 meters anyway, because the rest of the stuff in like the vehicles.meta is in kilograms and kilometers an hour. Max number of same color, again, just kind of dictates how many vehicles, well, how many of these vehicles can spawn in the same color. Default body health, I've never touched this. I've actually only just noticed this was here. Pretended occupant scale, visible spawn distance scale. Never used it. Max num never used. The flags, however. Flags are really, really, really nice. Flags do a hell of a lot of stuff for your vehicle. I do have a link for vehicle flags that I'll leave in the description. And just quickly to show off what they can do. There's a vehicle flag that I just know by heart called flag. That should be drop suspension or drop suspension. Let me actually just find it here. I'm not gonna get ahead of myself. So let me just actually open up one of these. Then I will find, again, it's as simple as just looking up GTA 5 vehicle flags. That's how you find it. Again, I will leave this in the actual description itself. And I scroll down, and then I've got all my different flags here. So resist, headlight coronas, flag has no roof, flag is bus. Yeah. Let's see here. So I know I'm looking for something at drop suspension. So flag, drop suspension when stopped. Go ahead and copy that. And you can also read what it does here. The vehicle has air suspension. The suspension raises while driving and drops when the vehicle is stopped. The default suspension height and handling must be the same as when driving normally, as the flag only drops the suspension. So, here we go. I'll go back in here. I will add this flag right like so. Save my file. Go back into FiveM. Restart my vehicle. And then it should work like so. Okay, except mine does it in reverse, based on the fact that my vehicle actually has negative suspension raise, so I've lowered the vehicle through the handling.meta. Now, to just kind of further prove what I mean, is I'll hop into my vehicles folder like so, or handling folder. So again, my suspension raise is set to negative 0.02. I'll just put this to 0.04. That's not 0.04. Not 0.04. So obviously now the vehicle is going to look way out of whack, just simply based on the fact that my vehicle is now super raised. So this would be my regular driving stance. Then whenever I end up coming to a stop, the suspension drops ever so slightly. So now if you have a vehicle where you would essentially love it to drop lower, you would need C modeler for it. If you're getting a custom vehicle made, tell your developer, yo, I would love this thing to be on bags, and then 9 out of 10 times they'll know exactly what to do. So and I'll do that. Okay. Type, vehicle type, car, never touched it in my life. Plate type, only just as of like 2 days ago found out this was actually a thing. I've never done anything with it though. Dashboard type. This is what defines whether your, whether your dials work in the car or not. So, right now my VD type is set to race, which means I have race dials in my car. Now, if your dials for whatever reason don't work, what I would suggest you do is you simply just open up your .ytd for your vehicle. Just let this load. Let me actually just quickly show you what it could look like when they don't work. I'm going to set these to Banshee, because I know that is a different dashboard type, or a different script for dials. I'll go and reset this real quick. Okay, and here you can obviously see that my dials no longer work. I can see that, you know, I've got dials somewhere on my screen, in my dashboard, but they're not in the correct place. I open up my YTD, I look up script, and here I see script, RT dials. Okay, this says Italy. If I do look up race. Nah, actually this one was a kind of funky vehicle, because it's set up with the race dials. However, everything in C modeler and everything else says Italy. Now, again, if you're getting a custom, like real life vehicle, the dials should have already been done for you. Or if anything, go look at your YTD. I know this was kind of a poor example, but I think you get the point. So, again, now I'll just put this back to race, and that should work. Vehicle class, VC underscore coupe, and then vehicle class end. This just defines what the vehicle actually gets put into. So right now my vehicle is saving in coupe, or coupes, like you can see right here. I say 10FTT. Let's say I want to change this to super, like the super class. I would just simply change it to VC_super. VC is an abbreviation for vehicle class. I'll go ahead and exit out my V menu too. Restart my car. No longer in coupes, but now it's in super. So again, it's pretty straightforward. One thing I will say though, if you're looking to add something to off-road, you can't just do off-road like this. I do believe you have to put an underscore between them. Again, it's been a while since I've done an off-road vehicle, but just be aware of something like that. Wheel type, this just defines what wheel type, or like what set of wheels the vehicle will generally like change on the first time around. So like if I go into my vehicle again, I go down here, the wheel type is set to sports. If I were to set it to street, it would be set to street in here. This is arguably, in my opinion, one of the more useless lines of code in the handling.meta. I know vehicles.meta, but yeah, I guess it's primarily intended for something like GTA 5 Online, GTA 5 single player. So yeah, and all the rest of this I honestly do not really have any idea about. The only exception to that is the TXT relationships. I'm personally still kind of fighting with figuring out how you create split YTDs with everything working and not a single thing breaking. Now I will do a video on that as soon as I end up figuring it out. But for now, that was essentially it in terms of covering the vehicles.meta. Now, obviously the vehicles that I've used in my video here, it's the 10F twin turbo. Like I also briefly mentioned, there's an extra that you can turn on and off that gives you a rear bumper. Obviously, you can keep it off, you can turn it on, whatever. It's kind of whatever floats your boat. It doesn't change anything with the exhaust, except for adding like a few, like a little cover around the actual exhaust pipe. The other vehicle I've used is my 10F Raid. It's going based off the same body, obviously. It's the 10F. However, this has just been kind of made into like a rally build of sorts. If you're interested in getting your hands on any of these vehicles, swing by my Discord. They're all available in my Discord. I'll leave the invite link in the description. Now, if you have any kind of questions about the vehicles.meta file, if you can't get something to work, etc., so on and so forth, feel free to hop into my Discord. Go to the Ask for Help channel, comment away in the comment section. Again, whatever floats your boat. And yeah, if the video helped you, leave a like on it. It actually goes to show that what I'm doing here isn't just all for nothing, and that it is actually helping out at the end of the day. And if you'd like to be notified of when I upload next, go ahead and subscribe. I do have a goal of 500 subscribers at some point in time this year. And if you subscribe right now, that is going to help me get to that goal. Because right now I've got 420. Haha, funny number, I know. But yeah, I do ultimately have the goal of getting to 500. So yeah, like always, like I stated, need help, reach out to me on any of the platforms I stated. I will be leaving the link for my Discord in the description. Whenever you join it, you'll have a channel that'll require you to react to a message that'll then end up giving you your verified role or your member role, which will then let you access the full Discord of mine. So yeah, without further ado, that basically concludes the quote-unquote brief understanding of the vehicles.meta, or essentially what's like the most important to know of or know about. So yeah, well, until my next video upload, now I don't know when that'll be. This is my third video recording back to back, because I did have a few ideas and I really wanted to get it done. But until my next video, I do hope you stay safe. You want to chat with me, go to my Discord, comment, you know the drill by now. I've said it a few times. So yeah, until then, stay safe.